or what do you think?
I think it's gorgeous, and it's the first thought I had. I forgot it was going to be set up, but I turned around the corner and it was kind of amazing.
Well, so you always ask me, how does my mind work? How
I
does my
do.
brain work? Because this is a real departure, I think, kind of from the vibe that I had at Thanksgiving. So if you're trying to really dissect something, it's good, I think, to figure out what your starting point was. And for me, my starting point was, I'm feeling so nostalgic this year. I don't know if it's because my son got married, my sister got married. It's just been a year where I've really reflected back on the past. I had a health scare. All of those things are really making me channel a nostalgic, maybe even 30s and 40s vibe. And so to do that, my starting point was this beautiful tablecloth. This belonged to my second mother. It is really traditional. Maybe this is a 50s cloth. Some of you might be able to tell me that. And that's my question of the day. When you are setting your table, do your linens tend to be more vintage and inspired by the past, or more modern and kind of inspired by a more contemporary vibe? So this one definitely, I think, is an homage to the past. It's really old-fashioned looking. Again, I'm going to say 50s and 60s. It's got poinsettias on it, bells, classic Kelly green and Christmas red colors. And that was my starting point. So I ironed my linens. I ironed this tablecloth, and before I put the cloth on, I put on something. Okay, this is a little piece of trivia that I just learned. I have told you all about how underneath my tablecloth, I like to have a piece of felt or something that gives a soft landing to all of the china and the crystal that's on the table. It just feels more cushiony. And I learned the other day that this is called a silencer. I did not know that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called a silencer. Now, to me, that brings up kind of mafia vibes of putting a silencer on the end of a gun. But nevertheless, this is called a silencer.
It's very much like the way you silence audio, like reverb, stop it from bouncing off the walls by putting something to silence it.
And it just creates a softer, more comfortable feel, I think. So I got my piece of felt, and by the way, this is a good thing to look for at a thrift store. All those old felt blankets, things like that, make great silencers. So you might want to put that on one of your thrifting lists for the new year. So I put down my silencer. I put down my freshly pressed tablecloth and my linens, and the linens are just white damask that also belonged to my mom, and I think they're perfect with the backdrop of this really clean white tablecloth. Now, since it's all about tradition, very traditional, I had to pull out, and I don't do this every year other than I pull it out for daily use, my spode. And I've got the classic Christmas spode. So I've got all of the place settings. I've got a place setting of 12 of the dinner plates, of the salad plates. And I have all sorts of different serving dishes and candle holders and bowls. And I've got the 3-tiered serving tray that I may or may not get out this year. But I want to show you something really special because this is very, very unusual. Now, we all know about Christmas spode with the classic green band around it. Well, my mom was a real treasure hunter. She loved antiques, and she found some very special plates that have a different color rim. And this one has kind of a purple. What color would you call that, Stuart?
It looks purple.
Kind of a purple color. So I have just a few of these plates, And then if I have extra guests on top of the 12, then I have 2 more. Or if I want to set a really intimate table just for hubs and I, then I can use these 2 and they match. So that's really different. And I guess that's another question I have for you guys out there. Are you familiar with these? And if so, do you have them or collect them? So let me put these out of the way again, Stuart, and I'll try not to knock anything over. Particularly all of the candles that I have lit, because I think if there's any signature touch for me in entertaining and in decorating for the holidays and really everyday use, and that is my affection for candlelight, both the battery operated candles and real candles. Now, I know some of you are going to say, oh my goodness, these little tea lights or these little votive lights inside these wreath rings are a fire hazard. And yes, they are. And I will get actual battery operated tea lights to use in their place. But for drama and for the short term and for effect, I wanted to show you how I've got these positioned. And these are just some of these staked candle holders, Stuart, that I was showing before.
Yep.
You can get them in taper size. You can also get them in tea light size. And that way you can put candlelight wherever you want it. And for me as a gardener, it typically is in something green. And like I said, I have cute little serving dishes, serving plates. I love, this one's been camouflaged by some peppermint meringues, but I've got a cute little bowl here. I have one, my favorite piece is probably called an OG bowl, and I'll show you some more of those a little bit later. But this is a great tip, and I have to say, I just discovered this morning. It's a tip that I just came up with this morning. So I had some coasters and I apparently broke or lost one of them. I'm not sure what happened to them. So I just have 3 and I wanted to use them because they were some of my favorite pieces. So I decided that these would make great salt and pepper sellers on my table, along with these tiny little spoons that I got at H&M.
I love those.
Aren't those cute? So I have these. I gave my kiddos some in black. I have them in brass.
Oh, I like the black idea.
The black idea?
That's cool.
That would be a good stocking stuffer for you,
Man,
Stuart. And so I love them because they match my brass accessories, my candlesticks and things. So you can see over here, Stuart, I don't know if you can get a close up or that. So in each little coaster then, I have both salt and pepper. So then people at the end of the table have both salt and pepper. And I think it just looks kind of upscale. And then they can use these little spoons to spice up.
Hold on, show us again how you do that. You can go on.
Yeah, to spice up.
Show us the little shake of the spoon. I missed it.
You missed it?
No,
Okay.
didn't you do a little?
No, I
okay.
I don't know that I did anything
I
special.
guess I didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything,
There
Stuart,
we
I
go.
promise. Except for, I just want to make sure that you captured that really cute idea. Now, then that led me to, okay, what do I do with the third one? Because I don't really need it. Now, this I think is such a cute idea. And we can extrapolate from this Christmas application to really any kind of taper candlestick holder and coaster. So I had some of these. I had 2 of these Spode candle holders. You can see that this one's been broken and it's been repaired, but isn't it cute? Okay, so now this is my idea because I put my 3rd coaster on top of that and I secured it with some floral wax. And then I have this tiny, petite,
Such a gardener.
this tiny, petite, little footed tray. Now, you could do this with all sorts of different candle holders. I've got short little brass candle holders I could use, and then I could use some crystal coasters that I've got on top. How cute would this be to have at each place